the reason it's called masculine theory is that I don't pretend to know everything all the time. If I did, I would be very, very irresponsible and I would be wrong a lot of the time. So as much as I like sitting on the fence, a lot of this, I'm actually depending on your guys' input. It's not about me, it's about the masculine hive mind. And that's why I implore you to add your insights into this video, which is a very, very interesting one. You ever heard of this thing, morphic resonance? Morphic resonance. It's this idea of a collective hive mind, that the human beings have this collective hive mind, that they have this akashic record of information beyond DNA, meaning the inventions of the world all usually happen at the same time, meaning if somebody gets a new spiritual download somewhere else in the world, somebody can access to it. So this is a collaborative effort here, but I'm digressing a little bit. I wanted to talk to you about the power of the bandhas. The bandhas, you have 3 bandhas in your body. You have Moola Bandha, Ujjana Bandha, and Jala Bandha. My pronunciation and my Vedic verbiage there might be awful, but the way you can understand this is you have diaphragms. You have a pelvic diaphragm, a thoracic diaphragm, and you have a throat diaphragm that are essentially locks and kind of conduits in order for you to channel Shakti, sexual energy, and prana as well. And anybody who is familiar with things like kumbhaka, which is breath retention, pranayama, will understand what I'm talking about here. But the reason I bring this up, because it's in reference to Kegals. You hear this all the time. Kegals to transmute sexual energy. Yes and no. So I'm going to read this post here from Procrastinator 9000. Be careful what you call yourself. Be careful what you describe yourself. Subconscious mind always listens. On SR and Kegals looking for information and providing your insight or his insight. So, hello, I'm hoping somebody who knows this stuff can point me and others in the right direction. I will try, we will try. Let's help this guy out. I read on multiple places that by flexing the Kegel muscles about 10 times a day for 5 seconds, you can get the energy to rise upwards. This is Moola Bandha, which is the PC and BC muscle. I started SR 15 days ago, and the first 8 days I was doing this daily, and the amount of energy I felt in my chest was crazy. It is important to know every time I read about Kegel and rising the energy that there are many warnings saying that you can awaken Kundalini. You can awaken Kundalini this way. And this is not what this individual is after. This individual is not ready by any means. Yeah, you can burn the soma. You can burn the soma by rising Kundalini spontaneously through this means. I am not ready by any means. I know that people can go really crazy if they mess with this stuff. Okay, no input as of yet. I was doing this daily, but on day 9, I think, during work, I sat at the desk all day. There was so much energy in my chest at one point, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with it. I got scared, and it made me understand this is not to be messed with. One of my co-workers randomly walked up to me and massaged my shoulders for a bit. As in like, hey bro, how you been? What's up? And the feeling stopped, thankfully. Interesting. I decided to stop this, but since then my energy levels have dropped. And it's a day and night difference, to be honest. Today I made the correlation that the reason why I had so much energy, also magnetism, was present during the first 9 days was because of Kegels. But I was expecting to have more and more energy as I get further into my SR journey, which is day 15. But nope, last 2 days I have been drained. Okay, so simply put, I mentioned this in an aforementioned video. It's about nervous circulation. The bandhas, the Kegel, the Moola Bandha is, and this is just a theory, a masculine theory. I'm doing my research in this and I hope to bring you something a little bit more concrete, but here's my theory. And again, I'm kind of reaching out to you in the same kind of manner. Moola Bandha. Moola Bandha, you have PC and BC muscles, okay? Large nerve supply around that area. When you do Moola Bandha, you pick up the pelvic floor, right? The nerves attached to the muscles in the pelvic floor withdraw towards the spinal column. Okay, so all that nervous bioelectrical energy, you're siphoning from that area. And usually the average Western man, maybe even woman as well, this nervous energy is going out in the forms of the typical way they engage in using that sexual energy. So you've got pent up bioelectrical energy, Shakti, in the pelvic floor. Moola Bandha, pick it up. With breathing as well, because prana moves energy. Everything follows prana. So Shakti follows prana. Moola Bandha, breath, you're picking it up, goes up the spinal column through the cerebral spinal fluid. Okay, so you've transmuted electrical energy into chemical or air. Sometimes they call it fire. I'm using a lot of crossover from different terminologies here and perspectives, so apologies, just theories. And the idea is, I like to use the Taoist model for this because I think it explains the tension in the heart area or the chest area. Is you have something called the microcosmic orbit, which you should all be familiar with, which is essentially an orbit going from the perineum up spine, through the head, down, nose, mouth, throat, chest, belly. Solar plexus, lower dantian, is where you should store Shakti, prana, energy in general. The reason why magnetism increases is when you store it in the heart. Your heart has a big electromagnetic field, larger than the brain, in fact. So when this individual is feeling uncomfortable because the energy is here, they haven't brought it down into the solar plexus. Solar plexus, lots of nerve plexuses, the largest amount of plexuses in the body here. That's where you're supposed to store the energy. In the East, again, they call this the second brain, I believe. So, Moola Bandha, pick up the energy, circulate it through the microcosmic orbit, store it not in the heart, store it in the solar plexus. Okay, so let's go back to the question here. And then today at work, I realized this. I did 10 Kegals and immediately I got filled up with energy. Same feeling I had earlier. Does anyone know how this works? Is there a safe method to do this? Does anyone have experiences of the resources where I can learn about this? Anything would be appreciated. I think I will continue to do 10 days, do 10 a day, pardon me. It's really not a lot. And if I notice that I have too much energy, I'll stop until I want more again. So the danger with this is overstimulating the pelvic floor muscle, right? It's not that you're contracting hard. You're thinking more about nervous innervation of that area. And you can do that with a light contraction if you're using breath, if you're using prana, like if you're using pranayama to move this nervous bioelectrical energy up into the spinal cord, okay? Also, to anyone wanting to try this, please do your own research. It can be dangerous. Yeah. So I do spinal breathing. I believe this is the way that has been most effective to me. And again, I'm not doing heavy clenches. I'm bringing my attention and my awareness in that area. And I know there can be a lot of woo-woo about intention. Viewing it from a scientific lens really helps you. When you're putting your intention in a place, you're innervating the nerves. You're innervating and invigorating the nerves, right? So if you do this exercise with me right now, okay? Let's just do this. Finally, a practical exercise from Joseph, all right? Close your eyes, okay? Focus on your breath. Focus on your breath. Bring your attention down into your pelvic floor, okay? Bring your attention into your pelvic floor. Let your awareness come to the muscles that are used for elimination and the traditional way that one might expel his life force, let's call it, okay? Very lightly, just contract those muscles there, okay? This is nervous innervation. You're innervating the muscles through the nerves here, okay? It's the nerves that make the muscles contract and the muscles within themselves. There is a basin, a pool of energy in this area. Still keeping your eyes closed. Just explore this area, right? Now, with the breath, as you inhale, and a good inhale, a good breath is a yogic breath. It's belly, chest, clavicle. Belly, chest, clavicle. Lower, middle, upper. As you very, very lightly contract Moola Bandha, okay, you pick up the pelvic floor and keep it contract all the way through the inhale. Just a light contraction, not a heavy contraction, a light contraction. You're thinking nervous innervation here. This is very, very nuanced compared to just grabbing and contracting the muscle. Okay? Put your mind in there. Put your mind in there. Inhale. And imagine like that you're sipping that energy up, that nervous energy up through the spine, up through the sacrum, the lumbar, the thoracic, the cervical, and then up to the head. Okay? Do this a couple times and you will start to feel pressure in the head. Now, it is not recommended to store energy up here. So a better model that you can move this energy through is the microcosmic orbit. When you inhale, imagine this energy circulating up again to the crown and then down the forehead, the nose. The tongue must be placed against the roof of the mouth. It goes through the tongue, down the throat, past through the channel of the heart and into the belly. So we can do a couple. Inhale, bring the energy up to the crown. Exhale, relax Moola Bandha, allow the energy to pour down in the solar plexus. Inhale, contract Moola Bandha. Up, crown, relax, tongue still at the roof of the mouth, travels down the tongue, chest, belly, that's where it's stored. Okay. I'm going to do guided meditations on this in the future. I have a big plan because, and I want to do this properly, but I hope this was enough to satiate you for a little bit longer, my friends. Book recommendations, because you guys have been asking me. Anything by Mantak Chia. If you want to learn about this, anything by Mantak Chia. We'll put you in the right direction. Breath work, maybe Swami Sivananda. There's a book, Prana and Pranayama, I believe. There's The Science of Breath. And also, recommend me books as well. I feel like everyone's asking me to recommend them books. Recommend me books as well. I'm very, very specific when I do book recommendations because I believe it's more pertinent to where the individual is in their karmic or dharmic journey. Meaning I have to know you. And there's one advantage of being coached by me is I'm very, very good at giving book suggestions on where the individual, where the client is at the moment of their time. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please let me know what your thoughts. I'd be interested to get your interpretations of that method there, if that's something that you've used and what your experience is with it. And if you try it, come back and tell me how it went. Do a couple breaths until you start to feel the energy. I don't like to do it by sets and reps. It's not mechanical. You have to have your intuition here working. And if you value these videos, please consider supporting my Patreon. $5 gets you access to 8+ videos, 30 minutes plus. It gives you access to my testosterone optimization book for free, my fasting book for free, a personal thank you from me, and I believe something else as well, but I can't really think about it. But these are not theories. Some of them are theories, but mostly the intention behind them is that I believe that these are facts because the anecdotal proof is me. Maybe you. You have to tell me. Anyway, speak soon. God bless.